Hey everybody, it's Dr. John, and today we're going to be going over my top 5 exercises for anyone suffering with low back pain and or stiffness. This is really going to help with your hips, your glutes, and your low back, and I'm going to start with, you guessed it, a body squat. So the number one exercise that I see people fail with, especially my patients, are the idea from sitting to standing. We don't realize how much we do this in a day, right? We sit in our cars, we get out, we sit at the dinner table, we sit in our office chairs sometimes. So pretty much our whole day, we're going from a seated to a standing position. So why not get really confident and really good with that first? So we don't have to add on a bunch of weight on a barbell and start squatting immediately. I like to do just body weight squats as well. So if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time, you can do this anywhere. What you're going to start with, you can even start using a seat if you don't like to get below parallel right away. And all you're going to do is shoulder width apart. If you're someone who prefers to get the glutes more, you're going to go a wider stance, and that wider stance is going to allow you to, as you come down, you're going to be able to go a little bit deeper without leaning forward. And then as you come back up, you're really squeezing those glutes through. So from the side, just like this, down, back up, and you really get to hit the glutes there. But again, if you're not great with the balance yet, your ankles or your core isn't strong enough quite yet, you're just going to take, like you're sitting in a seat, you're going to touch that seat and up. Focus on time under tension, guys, always. And we're going to do this about 2 to 3 sets, and you can treat it as a circuit. So you can go one time all the way through, and then you come back and finish that again later. So the next movement that we're going to do, and then those of you who prefer to go more quad dominant, that's me. I like a narrow stance. So I go more narrow, and then I'm down, and it allows me to just get a little bit deeper. And I'm super comfortable in this position. But ask me 2 years ago, it wouldn't be the same answer. Good. This stuff takes work, and it takes time and effort, not to mention discipline. Down. Good. Just like that. And then back up. You notice I'm not going so fast. I'm taking every movement very slow, around 2 to 8 seconds per movement, because time under tension and full range of motion is going to be our most ideal component we want to focus on. So that's the body weight squat. If you want to make this a little bit more difficult and challenging, you're going to start implementing weights. I'll grab a dumbbell. This is just 25 pounds, and I'll turn this into a goblet squat. So here from the side, and I'm going to go down. And I'm focusing on that time under tension, and then I'm coming back up. Again, if you struggle with ankle mobility, that's something we'll work on. You can always put a small plate under your heel, so that way as you come down, I don't know if you can see my feet from here, but you can have a little bit of a support system so you're not falling back, and then you're able to come back up. That's just one way to make it a little easier on yourself, guys. You want to challenge yourself, but you don't want to kill yourself, okay? So the next movement we're going to go and focus on, I actually highlighted this in my mobility drills. This one's going to be a reverse deadlift, but now we're turning it into an exercise. So for exercises, again, it's got to challenge you, but don't want to kill yourself. So with that, you can start with a band, put it under your feet, kind of closer together for this one, not really shoulder width apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of grab that tension, and I'm going to get up to my starting point. This is my starting point, and then I'm going to go down, let it pull me down, and I can go a little tighter. And then I'm going to let that go, and I'm coming back up and squeezing the cheeks through, guys. So showing you that with dumbbells now. Make this a little bit more challenging from the side. I'm going to take these dumbbells and kind of ride down the legs like this. I'm imagining someone pulling me from the back with like a rope tied around my waist, slightly bent in the knees. I'm keeping that back straight. Don't round it to try to get to the ground. If you can't get to the ground, just get to where you can get that, feel that tightness, and then come right back up and squeeze through. So a full rep, a full range of motion is all the way down, touching that ground, and then coming right back up and through. That's the reverse deadlift, guys. Nothing to it, but it's a great exercise for that low back and the hips. The third one we're going to do, this is a pretty simple one, but the reason I added this one is because it's going to actually help gain some mobility in the ankle and strengthen the knee, which again, it's a chain, it's all connected. So we're starting from that ground up. So this one's a forward lunge. And on a forward lunge, shout out to the knees over toe guy, you really want to focus on trying to get that knee over the toe and stretching that backside leg. and then coming back up. If you don't feel comfortable with that right away, you can use a bench to start working on this mobility of the ankle and being able to get that knee past the toe, just like that. So if I want to turn this into an exercise now, make it a little bit more difficult, grab my dumbbells, just adding resistance, and I'm gonna shoot through. I'm really gonna focus on that stretch. So here I can actually shoot back a little bit more. Really focus on stretching that front side. And then if you want to turn it into more like an athletic movement, you're gonna explode up. So down slow, and then back up. If you don't want to focus on explosion, that's okay. We're not there yet. We're just gonna focus on it like this. And you don't even have to come all the way up right away. And switch sides. Our rep focus is about 8 to 12 reps on each exercise. Time under tension is different. About 2 to 3 seconds with each movement, up to 8 seconds. Okay. Now this next one. This is really good for the side of your hips and focusing on mobility and a range of motion we don't often focus on. Because again, we walk, we run, we sit, we lift, we turn. But how often are we taking some resistance into this position, into this movement? So I put it around my legs. I'm here in like a squat position. Let me back up so you can see the resistance band. And then I'm doing a monster walk or a side shuffle, just like this. And then you go back and forth. If you have more space than I do, you want to go at least 10 feet. Go down one way, focus on getting that athletic stance, and then focus on going the other way. The other move with this, if that's, this is probably gonna be the easier version. The harder version is just a complete side lunge. So I grab my weight, and I'm gonna drop down into that side lunge. And then I'm gonna come back up, and I'm gonna go to that other side, and back up. Perfect, you guys. This is really gonna be something new. It's gonna be a little challenging for you because we don't often work in that position. So even if you gotta start way up here and shoot up, that's okay. You just wanna slowly start challenging yourself to get down in that position deep and open up that glute and the hips. Last movement we have, this is more like a hip flexor stretch. So just like we were talking about opening up the hips more, helping take off some stress on the low back, we're gonna do what's called a Russian or a Bulgarian split squat. And how you do this, if you don't have good balance, I'm already running out of breath here. If you don't have good balance, you need to grab like a chair or something to hold on to while you do this. That's fine. But you're going to put one foot up on like a bench or a chair, kind of step forward, and I'm slowly going to drop back and down, forcing that leg as far down as I can. And now I can stretch in this position a little bit, do a couple little bounces, 1, 2, 3. I can even stretch into that position, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to come up just like that. So that's a split squat. This is really good for your hip strength, quads, knees, and then stretching that opposite hip flexor as you come up. Switch sides, 8 to 10, both sides. And you can treat it as a stretch to kind of cool yourself down, or you treat it like an exercise. Add in your dumbbells, and just like that, we got an exercise going. My blood's already pumping, boys and ladies. Doesn't matter. Everyone can do this. Good. Just like that, you guys. I hope that helps. Try these 5 exercises out. If you have any questions or concerns, remember, I am here for you. In order to be next level, we got to put in the work and the effort to get there. And don't forget, you got to have the mindset and the discipline and show up every day, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes a day. You just got to do it. Non-negotiable. Get moving. Love you guys. Have a good day.